We mean nothing to you, huh? My sister-in-law sobbed when I refused to host again. God, you're cold. My husband snapped. I smiled unfazed. Trust me, I care. Then I pressed play. Their expressions cracked like glass as they heard, for 10 years, I was the default host for every family event on my husband's side. Christmas, Thanksgiving, birthdays, even random Sunday dinners. If there was an occasion, my house was the venue. No one asked, everyone just expected it. At first I didn't mind. I actually enjoyed cooking, decorating, and making everything special. It felt good to have family gathered around laughing and enjoying the food I had spent hours making. But over time, things changed. The appreciation disappeared. The thank you stopped. Instead of being grateful guests, my husband's family acted like entitled customers. Iris, my mother-in-law, always had something to criticize. You didn't use my recipe. Heather, my sister-in-law treated my food like a punishment. Well, I guess I'll eat it. Adam, my brother-in-law, just showed up with extra people without asking, assuming I had nothing better to do than cook for his friends. And my husband, Luke, he never backed me up. He'd just say, "You know how they are, just let it go." So I let it go, until I didn't last Christmas. I went all out. I spent days shopping, prepping and cooking. The menu was planned down to the last detail. Homemade bread, perfectly roasted turkey, scratch-made sides, multiple desserts. The house was spotless. The tree was decorated like something out of a magazine. I even bought extra serving platters to make everything look perfect. They arrived late. No thank you when they walked in. No wow, this looks amazing. Nothing. Instead, Iris wrinkled her nose at the mashed potatoes. You didn't use heavy cream? Well, that's different. Heather sighed dramatically. I guess we just have to pretend to like it, huh? Adam walked in with 2 random friends. No heads up, no asking, just a casual hope you made extra. And the worst part, Luke just stood there. Not one word, not one, "Hey, don't be rude." Just a weak little chuckle. I was done. But the moment that really did it, Heather walked into my kitchen. Opened my fridge, pulled out a store-bought pumpkin pie, and loudly announced, "Well, at least this will taste good." Iris laughed, Adam laughed, even Luke smiled. I stood there, heart pounding, hands shaking while they acted like this was normal. And then I made a decision. I turned off the oven, took off my apron, walked over to the Christmas tree and unplugged it. The room went silent. Heather blinked. "What are you doing?" I turned to Luke. "I'm done. I'm not hosting anymore ever." The way his face fell was almost satisfying. Almost. The fake tears started immediately. Heather's eyes welled up. "I guess you just don't care about this family." Iris gasped like I'd slapped her across the face. "How could you say that?" Adam muttered, "Geez, it's just a joke. Don't be so sensitive." And Luke, he glared at me. "How could you be so cold?" he asked. I almost laughed in his face. After years of them treating me like free catering and housekeeping, I was the bad guy. That's when I remembered something. See, I have a habit of recording myself when I cook. It's a hobby. I like documenting recipes, talking through the process, sometimes even posting little videos. And guess what? That day I had recorded everything, every insult, every passive-aggressive comment, every entitled demand. I pulled out my phone and smiled. "Oh, I care a lot." I said, "That's why I recorded everything." Then I hit play. With the look on their faces. Their own voices filled the room. Heather in a smug tone. "Well, at least this will taste good." Iris in her usual condescending voice. "You didn't use heavy cream." Adam chuckling. "Hope you made extra, Luke," with actual disgust in his voice, saying, "How could you be so cold?" Silence. Heather's tears dried up instantly. Iris's lips pressed into a thin line. Adam looked anywhere but at me. And Luke, he looked ashamed. Good. I tucked my phone away. So I said, "Still think I'm cold?" No one answered. I walked over to my coat, grabbed it, and turned to Luke dinners in the fridge. help yourselves. Then I walked out the door. The text started that night. Luke, you really embarrassed us, Heather. I don't know why you had to make a scene. Iris, we need to talk. I ignored them all. I went 3 months without hosting cooking or even responding to their guilt tripping. If they wanted family gatherings, they could figure it out themselves. And Luke, he learned real fast what it was like to be on the receiving end. Because when Easter rolled around, he tried hosting. Once, just once. Iris complained the food wasn't made with love. Heather criticised his cooking. Adam showed up an hour late with even more uninvited guests. And Luke, miserable. That's when he finally understood. That's when he came crawling back. And that's when I decided exactly how I was going to end this. For the first time in years, I was free. No planning, no stressing, no setting up tables or figuring out if there was enough seating. And guess what, they survived. They still had their little get-togethers just without me. At first, they acted like everything was fine. They took turns hosting each of them, pretending it was no big deal. But I knew better. I could feel the cracks forming. And then the first explosion happened. It was Heather. One night, Luke came home looking like he'd just seen a ghost. I was sitting on the couch reading when he dropped onto the armchair across from me, rubbing his face. "What's wrong?" I asked, not really caring, but knowing he'd tell me anyway. He let out a long sigh. "Heather lost it at dinner tonight." I raised an eyebrow. "Lost it?" How? He shook his head. "She was hosting. She made spaghetti. Simple, right? Well, Mum said the sauce was too sweet. Adam said the pasta was overcooked, and then Heather just snapped I waited. She threw the whole pot of sauce into the sink and told everyone to get out. I had to bite my lip to stop myself from laughing. Oh, how quickly the mighty fall. But it didn't end there. A few weeks later, it was Iris's turn to host. She loved to act like she was the perfect hostess, always finding new ways to throw passive-aggressive digs at me when I was hosting. This time, she cracked. Apparently, she forgot to take the ham out of the oven in time, and it ended up dry. Heather made a face and said, "At least this will taste good." Mocking herself, Iris burst into tears. Adam, trying to be helpful, laughed and said, "Wow, now you know what it's like for us when Rosie cooks." The table went silent. Heather glared at him. Iris stormed off. Luke sat there watching his family fall apart. All because I had simply stepped away. The group chat went dead after that. Then, out of nowhere, Iris reached out to me. 3 months had passed since I stopped hosting. I got a text. "We need to talk. Can we meet for lunch?" I stared at my phone. My gut told me it was a trap, but curiosity got the best of me, so I agreed. We met at a small cafe. She was already there when I arrived, sipping her tea, her nails tapping against the cup. "Thanks for coming," she said too sweetly. "Sure." I kept my voice neutral. Then she went straight for it. "I was thinking maybe you could host Christmas again this year. I know you needed a break, but you've had time now." "Right?" I almost laughed in her face. She looked at me with fake sincerity, acting like she was offering me some great honour, like she wasn't the same person who made my life hell for 10 years. I set my coffee down. "No." Her smile froze. "No," I saw something flash in her eyes. "Something ugly?" "Well," she said, tilting her head, "we're family, and family make sacrifices." I held her gaze. "Oh, I sacrificed plenty. I was the one who cooked, cleaned, decorated, hosted, and then listened to all of you insult me. I don't owe you anything, Iris." Her lips pressed into a thin line. "I didn't mean it like that." "Yes, you did." For the first time in years, I saw it the loss of control. The realization that I wasn't coming back to play the role she'd assigned me. She sighed, sitting back in her chair. "Wow," she said, looking down at her tea. "It's just a shame. The kids always loved coming to your house. And there it was, the manipulation. I don't have kids, but my husband's siblings do. And I loved my nieces and nephews." And she knew that I exhaled slowly. "You're really going to try that?" She didn't answer. She just sipped her tea, waiting for me to cave. waiting for me to feel guilty. But I didn't. I stood up, grabbed my purse and said, "Have a nice Christmas, Iris." And then I walked out. I could have ended it there. But Iris, she doesn't give up easily. When Luke got home that night, he was pale. "What did you say to my mum?" I raised an eyebrow. "Why?" He ran a hand through his hair. "She called me crying, saying you were so cruel to her." "Oh, of course. And what did she say?" "I did," I asked. He hesitated. "She said you shut her down when she was trying to make peace." He stopped. I stared at him. "And you believe that?" He didn't answer. That silence, that was everything. I grabbed my phone, pulled up the recording from lunch and hit play. Iris's voice filled the room. "It's just a shame. The kids always loved coming to your house." I watched his face fall as the recording continued. He heard every manipulative word, every fake apology. I paused it, so I said, "Still think I was cruel?" He sat down slowly. I didn't know it was like that, didn't know. "No," I said, my voice sharp. "You didn't want to know." For a moment, I thought this was it. The moment he'd finally step up, that he'd call out his family, apologise, maybe even be on my side for once. But then I saw it. That stubborn look on his face, the one that said he wasn't ready to let go. "She was just trying to talk to you," he muttered. "Are you serious?" I asked, my voice rising. "That wasn't an apology. That was manipulation." He ran a hand through his hair. I don't know why you have to be so extreme about this. It's family." And there it was. He wasn't on my side. Even with all the proof, even after everything they'd put me through, he still wanted to defend them. A cold, sinking feeling settled in my chest. "Wow," I said. "I think I just got my answer." The final nail in the coffin came the next weekend. I thought Iris had backed off, but I should have known better because when I got home from running errands, her car was in my driveway and she wasn't alone. I walked in and saw Heather and Adam sitting in my living room like it was their house. Luke sat in the middle looking like a deer in headlights. And Iris, she was holding a photo album, our wedding album, flipping through it like some scene out of a soap opera. "We just wanted to talk," she said, smiling, like she wasn't the villain of this whole story. I dropped my bags. "You've got 5 seconds to tell me why you're here before I throw all of you out." Heather gave me that fake hurt voice. "We're family. We can't keep doing this." "Doing what, me having boundaries?" Iris sighed dramatically, shutting the album. "You're punishing us." I laughed. "Punishing you for what, having to host your own damn holidays?" Heather's face twisted. "It's not the same. The kids don't even like going anymore. They miss your house. They miss your cooking. Let me make this easy for you," I said, folding my arms. "I'm done for good. I will never host another event for this family again." Heather gasped, like I just announced I was setting the house on fire. But no, I cut her off. "Get out." Iris's face dropped. "Excuse me," I said. "Get out." Luke stood up quickly. "Wait, hold on. No, you hold on." I snapped, turning to him. "Did you invite them here?" He hesitated. That half-second pause told me everything. I felt something inside me shatter. "You did?" I shook my head. "Wow, I just thought if we all talked, we could—" "You thought you could gang up on me," I corrected. His mouth opened and closed. He had no excuse. That was it. That was the moment I knew this wasn't just about his family anymore. It was him, too. He would never pick me, never defend me, never put me first. And I was done waiting for him to change. I want a divorce. The words fell out of my mouth before I even had time to second-guess them. The room went dead silent. Heather's mouth dropped open. Adam looked like he was watching a live execution, and Luke, his face went pale. "Wait, what?" His voice cracked. "You don't mean that I do?" "This is ridiculous," Iris hissed. I turned to her calm and cold. "You wanted me gone. Iris, congratulations, you win." Then I looked at Luke, whose eyes were full of panic. I deserve better than this. I deserve better than you. His hands trembled. We can fix this. No, we can't. I walked to the front door and held it open. All of you, get out. No one moved at first. Then Adam, of all people, muttered, damn, grabbed his coat and headed for the door. Heather looked like she wanted to scream. Iris opened her mouth to argue, but I didn't give her the chance. I just said, no. And for the first time ever, Iris had no control. She grabbed her purse and stormed out. Heather followed, still sniffling. And Luke, he just stood there looking at me, like I was ripping his whole world apart. Maybe I was, but I didn't care. A month later, I filed for divorce. Luke begged. He cried. He made every excuse in the book, but it was too late. I moved out, got my own place, and for the first time in years, I felt free. Heather tried to reach out. Iris sent me a letter, which I threw away. Adam, he just shrugged and said, can't blame you, but Luke, he had to host his own Christmas that year, and from what I heard, it was a disaster. I spent a decade trying to be enough for people who never deserved me. In the end, I learned the most important lesson of all. Never light yourself on fire to keep other people warm. I walked away from that family, that marriage, that entire toxic mess, and I have never looked back.